Whilst Arjay's psychological suffering is unlike anything a third-dimensional being like you or I can process, his response to the horrific torture he endured is seemingly nonsensical, but actually it's far too human. When Arjay confronts you in the phase dimension after Violicta's death, his exact words are telling, "But Lilith, it's her fault all this happened. Whatever her plans were for me, I'm free now, and she's still stuck. I'm going to make sure she stays that way." Now, you or I who still have our psyches intact can see this blame is psychotic and misplaced. He's not blaming the Timekeeper who created this prison planet and killed him. He's not blaming Violicta who enacted all of these atrocities upon him. Instead, he focuses his trauma onto a safer, more comprehensible target. This is what psychologists call displacement, and it's a defense mechanism for many trauma survivors. As this scene plays after the Violicta boss fight, so his jailer is already dead, and the Timekeeper represents the very system and order of this world. Arjay was born and grew up in the slums of Dominion City. The Timekeeper's authority is all he's ever known, and he spent his life fighting back against him. And where did that get him? Butchered and vivisected by a madman. To Arjay, the Timekeeper is more akin to a concept like capitalism to you and me. You can despise it, but it's not something you can channel your malice into like you could an individual. And so the feelings of betrayal and aggression are taken a step further and projected onto Lilith, whose sacrifice at the end of Borderlands 3 set in course the events that would lead to this game. In his splintered psyche, he fails to realize that she not only saved the galaxy by doing this, but without her, he'd still be a street rat on Dominion City. But because Lilith is a person, and a person whose fate he can affect, she becomes the first understandable vessel for Arjay's tumultuous storm of hate. And as Lilith is in a weakened state, she becomes even more vulnerable, as he doesn't have to find a way to hurt the Firehawk just to ensure that her isolation never ends. The brilliance of this motivation is that the game isn't asking us to agree with Arjay's logic. It's asking us to recognize how trauma survivors desperately need someone to blame, because the alternative is just accepting their suffering was just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is hauntingly realistic in how it reflects not just trauma survivors, but all of our needs to create coherence from chaos. When something disrupts our sense of self and understanding of how the world works, our minds desperately try to construct explanations and restore order, even if those explanations are objectively wrong.